Hello, this is Dustin, and this will be a quick introduction to the differences between the current version 9.14 and the new version 2.27 of the Passive Portfolio Tracker spreadsheet. Nora and I are the developers of the Passive Portfolio Tracker. We've had input from lots of Lifestyles members, lots of the users, seen spreadsheets from other people. I want to put out a big thank you for everyone that's given us feedback on the spreadsheet. This video, we will be going tab by tab through the spreadsheet and very quickly just pointing out differences between these two versions. On this first tab right here, we have the README tab in the new version, which was previously called the Notes tab in the 9.14 version. This goes through and allows you to read stuff that's going on each tab, how to use the spreadsheet, how to get the spreadsheet, sending email to tracker@sandust with the subject please send passive tracker, how to contact us if you have any questions. We have a new thing in here. If you rename your spreadsheet, this tells you what your current file name is. As you scroll down at the bottom here, after we go through what each tab is for, we have all the changes between the 9.14 version and the 9.27 version. Not much has changed in the table of contents tab. We have more tabs, so there are more images that you can click on to link to the tab you need to get to. This is very useful for people working on laptops and stuff when the tabs across the bottom don't fit on the screen. There have been a few changes to the dashboard tab. These are our key performance indicators. Basically, we have added up here more information about the property, first full quarter, some information up here that's new. And the main thing we've done on here is changed. In the old version, we compared your current position in the property to year 3. And this penalized the property that was in the first or second year. What we're doing in the new version is we're compare what your property is currently doing to the current year. So we look at how many years this property has been owned and we compare to the correct year. So if we're in year 2, we're going to be looking at year 2 of the MFQA data, compare for your NOI and your expenses and your income. I think that's a little bit more useful. If you have an opinion on that, please contact us. We're always looking forward to hearing from the users of the spreadsheet. 2 brand new tabs that don't exist in the previous version are Graphs 1 and Graphs 2. At the top of the Graphs 1 tab, we have a bunch of information about your summary of investments, and we have a summary of your last 10 years. Scrolling down from there, we have several graphs. We have the G graphs and these P graphs. G graphs are the bar graphs, like this one right here, that shows you your cash flow over the last 5 years by quarter. You can look at this and see how your cash flow has grown. Or we also have pie charts that show you how many deals you're invested in per city, per state, per lead, how much dollar amount you've invested in city, state, and lead, to just kind of let you have a better understanding of how diversified you are. So you can scroll down, or you can just simply click on a link and see how many deals you have per state, how much money you have invested per city. Lots of useful information in these graphs. On the Graphs 2 tab, we have information comparing your actual returns to your MFQA returns. The blue line is actual, the orange line was what was projected in your MFQA. So if you fill out MFQA data, this chart can be useful for you. It will list all of your properties and give us a bar graph to show you how you are doing compared to what you were projected, so that you know if you're doing less than you were expecting or you're doing better than you were expecting. You have year 1, year 2, you can jump down to year 3. Year 3, we have very few properties in the sample data that actually go into year 3. Now we're on the Properties tab. This is where we made the most changes at. Moving your data from your current spreadsheet to your new spreadsheet is going to take a little bit of paying attention, but it's not that hard. You just have to pay attention, and we will cover that in the full training video. Main differences here: we've separated out city, state, and zip code, whereas before we had city, state together. We did that so that we can create the graph showing how many deals you have per city and per state. We have also moved where the leads override is. We've added a column for what deal this is for the lead: first deal, second deal, fifth deal. In the loan to value column, we have added a green box around that column to let you know that there is a formula in there. And we've changed it so that now if you don't like this 82 for some reason, you wanted to use a different number in there, let's say 81.5, we can manually change that, getting rid of the formula, and it will highlight the entire cell green to let you know this cell has been edited. It is no longer using the formula. A couple more changes we have made. The KP column is no longer a yes or no column. Now you put the percentage. If you're the KP, you put in what your percentage is, 1%, 0.5%, and that will keep track of that, and it will update your economic interest in the property based on your KP override. We have also added, when you put in a new property, until the purchase date has been put in, so until the property is closed and you have a purchase date, we highlight that property in orange to let you know this property has not closed. This is useful if you're trying to get into a deal, you've subscribed but you haven't been accepted into the deal yet, or you've got a property that you have been accepted into the deal but it hasn't closed. These stay highlighted orange until you know the deal is closed. And the next thing we've added is a cash call section. So now you can have, if a property has a cash call, you can put in the date of the cash call, how much you invested, and the total amount that was raised by the property. This will recalculate all of your economic interest, and here in the Schedule A cash call section, highlighted in orange, will give you your updated percent owned and economic interest in the deal. The last thing we've added to the Properties tab is a notes section here in the back that you can put in some notes about that property. Here on the Quarterly Distributions tab, we've made a few updates. Mostly here to the columns, we've added some more information about the property that wasn't in the previous one. We've also added a column to track your cash calls. If you haven't had a cash call, it will highlight that in orange, and so you know where that is. It will also give you an orange box on the quarter of your distribution. There was a cash call. We've got the quarter of sales. We've also taken this column here that has undeposited funds, and you put an X in here, it will highlight in orange that these funds have not been deposited, and up here it'll track that you've got 3 distributions that you know that the money's coming, but it hasn't been deposited and it's in this amount. If you prefer to work with this in a has deposited in a more of a positive way, you can click this checkbox up here, and these will become marked as positive so that only the ones that are highlighted in green have been deposited, and your undeposited ones will show the ones that are not highlighted in green. Nora prefers to work with the positive has been deposited, and I prefer to work with only the ones that have not been deposited. So when I get an email from a lead saying I'm getting a check for $500, I'll put that amount in here. I will put a checkbox saying that this has not been deposited. Nora, when she gets it, will have the green checkbox and only put down the ones that have been deposited, and everything else stays blank. So whichever way you prefer to work, you can work. We try to make it useful for everybody. One other addition to this is column M. We can put in what quarter the lead is projecting to do distribution. So if they say in quarter 4 or quarter 5, it should be the first quarter of distribution, you can put down what quarter that is. And then it'll make the blue box out here to say this is where you're projected. So on this property, the first full quarter of ownership was quarter 1. We had 0 distributions, and the lead projected to do their first quarter of distributions in Q5, and that was the first distribution this property gave. So we did not expect to get distributions in these 4 quarters that we did not. This is just a way to help track what the lead is telling you. So some deals will say in quarter 1, some in quarter 2, some in quarter 5. If the lead tells you, you can put that. If it's quarter 1, the blue box will overwrite your green box. The green box tells you that this is the first full quarter of ownership of this property, and the blue box will supersede the green box. If it's quarter 1, it's when you expect your first distribution. If it's a good solid yield play and you are doing distributions from quarter 1, that blue box will be the first box. Not much has changed on the quarterly percent tab. The main thing we've added here is a column to track the cash calls so that those are highlighted in orange. Lots of formatting changes here on the financials tab. The current loan balance is now editable by the user. It will automatically pull forward from the loans tab and properties tab the current loan balance, but it's also editable so the user can manually change that if you know what that data is. Lots of formatting changes and stuff going through here. We'll get into the details of this tab when we go into the detailed training. This is really a tab that's mostly only useful when you're really trying to dig deep into what's going on with the property. Here on the MFQA tab, no real changes, just some minor formatting. We put the green box around the optional formulas, and if you make a manual change to the formulas, it will highlight that cell green. On the returns tab, we've added a cash call column, and at the end we've added an equity multiple column to show you the equity multiple of when the deal is sold. On the loans tab, we've also added the cash call column. On the sales tab, we've added a purchase price from the properties tab and a sold price, so you can put in how much you sold the property for. Only minor formatting changes to the reports tab, minor formatting changes to the links tab, and minor formatting changes to the PFS schedule of real estate owned tab. Another new tab, the new version of the spreadsheet, is the 2-day net worth tab. This allows you to go through and put all of your passive income and your net worth so you can get a return on net worth based on what is talked about in the 2-day class. And the final tab is the FAQ tab. Minor formatting differences. We've added quick links to all of the FAQs that we have, and you can go through and read all the information about the tracker. And that has been the quick overview of the 9.14 to 2.27 changes to the passive portfolio tracker. If you have any questions about the tracker, please email us at tracker@sandust.com, and either Nora or myself will get back to you. Thank you for your time.